Hello, welcome to my video blog regarding 2365 Level 3 and this is the design assignment. So we're looking at one particular question. The question we're looking at is question 6, which is a question about diversity. So here we go. Let's have a look at question 6. Question 6 comes with a little bit of a table. You can use the table below. You may need more copies of this. So it's saying it's not the exhaustive table, so don't think you can just fit it into this table and that's it. What you need to do is think about it. What you need to do is make sure that you're only talking about the pool and cafe. So if you think about your drawings, that's only the pool that we see there and the cafe. So forget the hotel, forget all them rooms here, that's nothing to do with this. This is just the pool and cafe. Now in the pool and cafe you've put all your lighting circuits, but you'll notice there are other circuits here that we've got to include. Yeah, so we've got to figure out what them other circuits are. So what you can do is you've got to go through the circuits and you're going to write down for each of your questions in question 4, what breaker you use for each of these. So a circuit and what the breaker was. Now you could pick out the individual design and actual demand of each of the circuits, but you can use breaker sides at this point in time. I don't think this is really the key thing we're looking at. The main thing is whether we can apply diversity at this point. So do think about how you can look at the demand. You can either choose the actual demand, but most of the times we're talking about breaker sizes. Once you've done that, you also need to think about going through the spec. When you go through the spec, there are odd things within it, like this 13 amp unswitched fuse connection that you need for the alarm panel. Suddenly they sort of appear in it, and it's not particularly in a great way. You do get this dishwasher circuit, you do get the servery, yeah, a unit 16 amp cable, yeah. We do get this 32 amp supply cables, and it tells you how they're sort of installing them. It tells you about the 4 fridges that we talked about earlier and 2 16 amp supplies, and it talks about a summer house that's being fed off the circuit. So you get some idea what the certain things are within the installation, but as you look at that drawing, you've got to be aware that there's a socket here and a socket here and a socket here and a socket here. There's a vending machines which have got some voltage. We're going to have to work out what we're going to put in for that, whether they're just going to be plugged into this plug socket. You may decide to do that, or you may decide you're going to put extra supplies in. So there's your alarm panel here, just underneath my picture. Let me just move that one in there. Your alarm panel, this is right in this little corner here when you first come into the building, so it gives you a little clue about that being the first building. Exactly the same you need to do the swimming pool. You've got hand dryers here, you've got double sockets here that you can put in. There's a double socket in here. This is the pool and pump equipment, it's in the specification. There is a little socket hiding in this little cupboard, so you've got to make sure you pick up those things as well. So what you need to do is think about how you would split the circuit up. You don't necessarily need to draw all the lines and everything into this, but you do need to split it up into the different sections. So you could turn around and say that from the 3-phase distribution board here, that what I'm going to do is I'd run down a power circuit and I would supply the female charging hand dryer that's located in the female changing room, and I'd put that on a 16 amp radial circuit. So when it comes to the diversity question, what you need to do is pull up that table, and what you need to do is make sure that you include that on there. Hand dryer circuit, demand 16 amp, female changing room, male changing room 16 amp, dishwasher circuit 16 amp. So you get the idea, you've got to include all the different circuits. So there's a number of circuits. If you took advice in question 2, when I said about distribution boards, and you did a 3-phase distribution board for this, you would have included the lighting circuits on it. It's a good idea at that point to try and include all the other bits and pieces. But being sure that when you've got a socket here, what you should be able to do is tie that back to this fuse board. So we should be able to see that this fuse board has got some sort of indication next to it to say that it is being fed by one of the circuits on the 3-phase board. That's good practice, that is. So if I looked at a circuit chart here, I could see what circuit is providing that socket with power. Yeah, so if you've done a circuit chart here and you can identify it to here, then it makes a lot more sense. But again, think about that, talk to somebody if you're unsure about what that exactly means. The main thing is you've got to get all your circuits listed down, and you need extra tables on this. Once you've got all the tables listed down, what you need to do is work out the demand, which sometimes is breaker sides, sometimes it's actual demand, yeah. But if we don't know, and then we've got to decide diversity factor. And this question's more about diversity factor than anything else. Diversity is only in the on-site guide. Diversity is chapter A, so you've got to look at chapter A. and two little tables in there. It tells you what to use for the different supplies, the lights and stuff like that. Any lighting circuits and stuff like that you can't work out the current demand. It tells you how to work out the current demand there. For socket outlets, you can use the actual amount rated current, so any other sockets, amps, you can put down that. And then what you can use is use this table here. So you've got to think that what you're putting in here, this is a cafe, this is a sort of a business premises, it's a small hotel sort of type of thing. So you're probably looking at the last one. And we're looking that you can pick out which is the right thing. So if you decide that your diversity factor is 75%, then you use 75% of your demand and calculate it so you can work out the diversity after. So you times 0.75 by your 6 amp breaker, let's say, and you say that demand after is going to be 4 point something. Yeah, what we've got to consider at that point in time is that you're applying 75%. If you decide it's 90%, then do 90%. If you decide it's 66%, do 66%. It's totally up to you to figure out from the book which is the right one to use, and there's only one that you can use. Again, with your socket circuits, when you've listed down your socket circuits, feeding the sockets that you're located here or here or here or here, what you need to do is use the chart and decide which diversity you're going to apply. What you need to do is you need to add up all your demand down here and say this is the demand beforehand, and then you need to add up the column down here and work out your diversity after demand. That's what the two questions are. Yeah, but the best way is to fill in this table. You don't have to use this table. I don't think this is the best way to sort of display it, but you need to make sure that you've included every circuit that would be fed from the three-phase distribution board located in the kitchen. That's where you need to do. I've advised you not to put extra fuse boards. If you've put extra fuse boards in the swimming pool or the cafe, then you need to also list the circuits on here as well. So you need to list those circuits as well on here. So it's every circuit that would be located within the swimming pool area, that drawing, or the cafe area. So those are the ones that you need to include on that one there. So not in the hotel, but just the other ones. So you include on there and you've got to fill them tables in. So it can take a little bit of a time, but you've got to make sure that you sort of include everything out of that and get your demand beforehand and after it. But again, the question's more about whether you can select the right diversity as to whether you've got all the demands 100%. So do your best with it, and again, somebody can help you and direct you a little bit if you get a little bit lost with that. So that's the end of that one.